Kathy's asking a question about whether or not the recording will be available. And yes, we're going to make all the recordings available, but just please be aware it takes us a few days to get everything captioned. So it's not going to be available the moment that we click off today. It will be a few days. So everything will be posted on the Paths to Literacy website, and we hope on the APH website as well.
Oh, yes. Yep.
Yeah. So yes, indeed, it'll be there. Lots more people telling us they're here. And another person was asking, is this for children or grown-ups? And I think anybody's welcome to join. All of our sessions are designed for children and youth, for students who are visually impaired or blind or deafblind, and we welcome everybody. So Cheryl, I think we're ready for our introduction.
All right, super. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our day 3 of the Virtual Excel Academy. We're excited to be able to provide you an hour of programming each day through this online format. Our hope is that we provide you with a space to connect with others and allow you to actively participate in this virtual learning environment. This is a collaborative adventure with participants across the nation, and what we're learning is we're around the world, including students who are visually impaired, teachers, parents, family members, and professionals who work with individuals who are visually impaired. Our hosts include Charlotte Cushman from Paths to Literacy, Leanne Grillett from APH, our feature instructor today, oh, so sorry I didn't update the slide from yesterday, Kassy Maloney, and my name is Cheryl Kameh-Hannon from Cal State LA. Before we begin, I want to share a few tips with you to make this a little bit more enjoyable and also very interactive. First, the name that you entered in registration is viewable to the audience. So if you wish to remain anonymous, please use a pseudonym. You can unregister and then register again if you wish to be anonymous. Second, upon entry, we have muted everyone and we also turned off your camera. This also allows some confidentiality. We encourage you, however, to interact throughout the presentation. Especially, we encourage student participation. You may participate by using the chat feature. If you have a question, please type it in the chat window. To get to the chat window, if you are a mouse user, you may hover your mouse over the toolbar. Several different options will pop up. You will mouse over the speech bubble that says chat. Click on it, and it will pull up a separate window that shows you the chat window. You also, if you are a tablet user, may activate the chat window by tapping on your tablet. The toolbar should pull up, and then you can press the chat, and it will also activate the chat window that way. If you are a keyboard user, then Alt-H in the Windows environment will pull up the chat window, and Command-Shift-H in the Mac environment will pull up the chat window. Charlotte and Leanne and I will be monitoring the chat room and reading most of the comments. We have found in interactive presentations there are an abundant number of chats, and so sometimes it's hard to read all of them, but we do the very best we can to read as many as we can. You may also raise your hand, and we have found that participants enjoy speaking in this session as well. Once you raise your hand, we will unmute your microphone and you will be able to speak using your microphone. Again, if you are a mouse user, you can scroll to the bottom of your screen, click on participants, and you will see lower hands, raise hands under your name. We also, if you are a keyboard user, you can Alt-Y in the Windows environment to get your hand raised, or Option-Y in a Mac environment to raise your hand. To mute and unmute your microphone, once you have your hand raised and we have given you control of your microphone, Alt-M will mute and Alt-A will unmute your microphone. In a Mac environment, Command-Shift-A will get your microphone access. If you are using a screen reader, you may find it helpful to mute your speech during the presentation, and that will reduce the noise clutter that comes from both the chat window and the speaker. And we found that people are using that to mute and unmute the speech as needed when they need to hear the chat function. If you wish to if when you do speak, please announce yourself by name, and that will allow us to know who's speaking. Before we begin, we have a short poll, and we would just like to ask you a couple of questions. The first one being, I am either a student, a parent, a teacher, or other. Or number two, I am 0 to 5 in grades 1 to 5, grades 6 to 9, grades 10 to 11, an adult student, or an adult participant. This just helps our instructors and us get to know our audience a little bit better before we begin.
And we do recognize it's sometimes hard to fill out those polls if you're a parent there with a student, or if you're a TVI and you've got a huge caseload. So just the best way that you can answer it would be wonderful.
And that's all for now. We are really excited to bring you Kassy Maloney for hopefully a really good mindfulness exercise where we get to stretch our bodies and really just enjoy this interactive session. Kassy?
And Kassy, I just want to let you know, this is Charlotte. I want to tell you what the poll says because I know you're not able to see the results.
Oh,
so we have, oh, you can?
Yeah, it popped right up.
Oh, good. Okay. We didn't know that.
I
Perfect.
just shared it to everybody so they can all see it. That gives you an idea of who's with us today.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it looks like we have, of the 113 people who filled out the poll, about 74 are teachers or other vision professionals. We've got students coming in second, and then parents coming in third, and other bringing up the rear. Love it. And it looks like, and I'm gonna need some clarification in the chat from y'all. It looks like we've got students from grades 1 through 5 in first place, and then next is grades 6th through 9th as far as how many are here. And then we've got 0 to 5-year-olds and grades 10 to 12 adult students, and then adult participants. So here's my question for you guys, just so I know what kind of yoga to share with you, is if you chose adult participant, is that because you are the TVI or because you want to know how to do yoga for adults? Is there a way that you guys can let me know in the chat? Okay, because Lori says it's because she's the TVI, because she's the TVI. Perfect. Okay, because you're the TVI. Great. Okay, because as you can imagine, yoga for adults is way different than yoga if you're teaching kids, but you are an adult. Okay, and Parker says you're the student. Hi, Parker. I'm so excited to have students and teachers here today. This is going to be so fun. We've got a grandparent helping a student with visual impairments, teaching your kid. Okay, great. So we are going to make this appropriate for students of all levels. You guys have received a handout that has some more information. So right now I'm talking to the teachers and the parents, grandparents here. If what we do today doesn't really work for your student, that's okay. We're going to talk about some fundamentals and some foundations that you can take to any resource that you're given, any way that you want to do yoga in the future, or any sequence that you do in the future. And we're also going to talk about a little bit about, what is yoga, how to teach yoga, and also a little bit of what to teach, although that'll be so different depending upon your objectives. So I am gonna introduce myself formally. I'm Kassy Maloney, and are you loving this new normal? Everybody's home. Our whole city's in lockdown. My kids are here. Where is the handout, Teresa? It was emailed to me, but I did create a bit.ly link. If you go to bit.ly/, I think it's Virtual Learning Academy.
I'll put it in the chat box, Kassy.
Okay, thanks, Charlotte.
Yeah.
It goes to a viewable Google Doc, and in that viewable Google Doc, it has a bunch of links. What I would suggest is that you stay focused right here and then view that handout later. A lot of times when we're online, we can get, like zone out the computer and look at something else, check our emails, do other things. And I would urge you just to stay present with us right now so we can all enjoy the moment together. I will start off also by just letting you know that my 5-year-old and my 3-year-old are here. They're being super rambunctious. I fully expect you to hear them. I fully expect them to come on in. I will try to verbally describe that for everybody with the visual impairment if that happens, but this is our new normal. So just wanted to call out the elephant in the room. I'm in my son's room as it is. So that's just the way that things go right now. As of right now, I'm not gonna be able to see the chat. Never made it to the eye doctor before they locked us down. Literally can't read it. But if I'll come in closer in a little bit and we'll answer some Q&A. So for those of you guys who don't know me, again, my name is Kassy Maloney, and I'm a certified O&M specialist. I'm also a certified yoga teacher, and I've been teaching yoga. It feels like for 10 years now, and I'm pretty sure it was 2008 or 2009 that I started teaching yoga, and I have stuck with teaching yoga to our students with visual and multiple impairments and people in the community at YMCA and rock climbing gyms. And so my favorite way to practice is to take yoga and make it useful for our lives. I don't think that the yoga that we see in the media is what everybody needs to be doing. I don't think it's a good idea to go on Instagram and hashtag yoga and try to practice what they are doing. I think that yoga is really meant to help us live better lives. So I would love to know from you in the chat, and I will scoot up and read that. What are you hoping for yoga to do for you? And if you could write that in the chat, or have your TVI write that, and I'll read some of the answers aloud.
And parents who are assisting your students, feel free to type what you're hoping. This is for the kids.
Exactly. To relax. Oh, good. That'll give me a good idea as to which one we do. To make you feel good. I feel like it will help me exercise a lot. Great. Mindfulness, stress relief. Makes you feel calm. To touch your toes. Helps you relax and unwind. Okay. Helps students with body awareness, focus, mindfulness. Yeah. To help you calm down. Melanie says to help improve the student with balance. Sophia says to be flexible, to relax. You want to be able to stretch better, help you relax. Okay. So does it sound about right that you guys want to be able to relax? Is anybody stressed out trying to figure out their new schedule and how they're going to learn from their parents and how their parents are also going to work? And are any TBIs a little stressed out about how am I supposed to teach my students in this new world, this new realm, and also maybe you have your own kids at home? Tony's not stressed out. That's good, Tony. I want some of what you have. Rebecca says a little, yes. Danielle says smiley face, yes, yes. I feel like that's the way, you know, that things are right now. Life is not meant to be a vacation. We have a lot of resiliency. We have a lot of capacity to go through hard things. And yoga is a great tool that we can use to help us go through those hard things, and not only go through them and kind of like when you're in a pool or maybe in the ocean and you're on a raft or something, yoga can be there to help you and be that raft for you when you need it. So the very first thing that yogis ever did was they just sat and breathed. And sometimes that's all you need, is just to take a few deep breaths. So let's start our class with that. I'm going to see if I can up my volume. My kids are being a little loud. So I'm going to scoot back a little. I'm going to try to talk louder. And I would love for you to do this with me. You don't have to scoot away from your computer if you don't want to just yet. If you'll put one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest and just breathe so much that you can feel your belly expand. Inhale. And exhale, feel your belly go down in towards the rest of your body, towards your spine. Inhale, feel your belly expand. Exhale, feel your belly contract. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Nice. So can you guys actually raise your hand or type a Y in the chat if that helped you feel a little calm. Yes, there's lots of yeses. Great. Rebecca says she stopped thinking. Wow. So for all my students who might get nervous before a test, for all my parents, for all my teachers who might be nervous right now, there's a lot going on that's new and that's different. And sometimes that can make us feel nervous. That's okay. You just got to experience what it feels like to rise above that and to be able to go from trying to swim and doggy paddle your way through this situation to getting on that float and maybe being able to relax a little bit. Yeah. So that's all that you need to do. Sometimes I like to do that right before a test. I like to do that with my students right before we cross a busy street. I like to do that with my students right before we put our hands on something that they don't want to put their hands on, whether it's, for my TVIs, maybe it's Braille and my student is nervous. For you guys who are kiddos, maybe you just take a few breaths before you do something that's hard for you. And it can help you feel like you've got this, because no matter what challenge comes your way, you do have this. So, given that information, let's go into a practice. We are going to do what's called the 5 minutes to calm practice. And then after that, if you want to get more amped and we have time, we'll do a different practice. Now, in this case, I'm going to demonstrate the moves and I'm going to walk you guys through each of the moves. You also have that Google Doc 5 minutes to calm that has the pictures. And for the parents, if you're going to be helping your student, parents, teachers, all that, helping your students through that, it'll also give you the words that you can say to help get them into those poses. One thing to note before we start to practice is you will notice that I use a framework when I'm teaching or when I'm demonstrating. That's called the Root to Rise framework. And this is something that I've realized that I've developed because it really helps us to understand what to say and when to say it, or how to move our bodies and when we're getting into the pose. And that is the basic premise. Is we're going to start with the roots. You know how the roots of a tree go into the ground? Well, that's where we're starting. Whatever part of our body is touching the ground, that's where we're going to focus first. And we're going to make sure that our body is in alignment. So you'll notice, kiddos, that I am going to ask you to probably have your hands straight. And that means that not your hands, but your arms. And that means that your elbow is not bent completely. And if you have the ability to hyper extend your elbows, that means like your elbow or your knee comes out just a little bit in the opposite way, then you want to make sure that you have a tiny bend in it so that your arm is straight in that way. And if you do hyper extend your elbow or even your knees, that you just squeeze your arms a little bit to help you feel what straight is. So we'll do that starting from the ground, and then that's typically our legs or maybe our hands and our legs. And then we'll move up to our trunk, kind of like a tree trunk, and that's our torso. And then we'll talk about our branches, which will be our arms, or the area that's, not touching the ground, that kind of comes out from our body. We're going to build strength through our poses that way. And you'll notice, for those of you guys who wanted this all to be flexibility based, you'll notice that comes naturally. For my calms, you'll also notice that I'm saying words in a way that you can say them to increase body awareness, spatial awareness. I mean, all that home living stuff from the taps, you can start to work on with that. Okay. Oh, Tony had to leave. So sorry. Okay. Yeah, Becky asked to describe it as well. Yes, of course. Yep. I don't know what the doc is, Grace, but of course I'm going to describe it. So let me just share the sequence with you. First thing we're going to do is we're going to tune in. That's going to be our sunshine breath for this sequence. And then we're going to go into a seated moon. Let me actually check real quick because I thought there was a seated twist in there. Yeah, seated moon, sorry, then seated twist. Then we're going to go into cat-cow. Then we're going to stand up and we'll do star pose. And then we'll do a wide-legged standing forward fold. We'll come back down for cat-cow. And then we're going to go into a child's pose. Now, this isn't the only sequence that you can practice. And there are resources on your document that will help you get, like, how do you say, music and other things that we can't really share here for copyright purposes, but that's totally fine because you can download them on your own and use them. All right, my friends, are you ready? Let's go ahead and have a seat on our yoga mats. To help orient you to your yoga mat, I want to let you know that mine, if you're using your vision, I can't even see my yoga mat right now, but your yoga mat has 2 long sides and a short side. Okay, so right now I am facing you. It just so happens that my long side is kind of at a 45-degree angle and I'm sitting a little further back. You'll also notice behind me that I'm just sitting against white doors that are my son's closet, and we've got some black furniture around. And I'm going to sit in a comfortable seated position for me. For me, that looks like crisscross applesauce, crisscross yoga sauce. For some of you guys, you hear my kids, for some of you guys, that might mean that you put a pillow underneath your hips if your knees are starting to hurt, or that you get a blanket or a towel and you put it underneath your hips if your knees are hurting. Or you can just sit on your knees. And for that, you would put your shins on the ground. Your heels are usually face up, or they're like splayed out with your toes together. And then your hips are on your heels. I cannot read what's going on in the chat, y'all, so I will come back to you.
Do not worry, we're working on answering some questions.
Great. So we'll do some Q&A that I can answer later, but that is way too small. So for sunshine breath, you're coming to a comfortable seated position, and you're going to start with your hands down by your side. So I want you to tap the ground if you can. You hear my kids? Do you want to do some yoga? Okay, and then we're going to inhale, keep our arms straight. That means no bend in your elbows, and lift your arms up and out to the side. Now your arms are parallel with the earth. You might be able to feel this in your shoulders. And then as you keep inhaling, you're going to reach your arms all the way up, and they're going to clap, and they're going to glue together. Are your hands still together? Good. Next time you exhale, bring your hands down, and your thumbs are going to touch your forehead, your nose, your mouth, and then go down to your chest. That's the sunshine breath. Let's go ahead and practice this all together. Bring your hands down to the ground. Hey, buddy, come practice with me. And then inhale, reach your arms out to the side and up. And then bring your hands down, past your nose, past your chin, and onto your chest. Let's do that 2 more times. For those of you guys who have some vision, you're getting to see what it looks like to practice with kids around. They may or may not actually do these poses, and that's totally fine. Ready? Place your hands on the ground, and then inhale, arms up, keep them straight, clap, and glue them together. Now when you exhale, breathe out and bring your hands down past your nose all the way to your chest. We're gonna do that 1 more time. Bring your hands down to the ground and inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands down past your nose into your chest. Okay, for this next pose, we're gonna do seated moon pose. So we're gonna stay seated, and we're gonna do the upper body, we'll do moon pose. All you have to do is bring your hands together, cup them up above your head, up, reach up towards the sky, reach up so high, and then we're gonna lean over to one side. I'm gonna pretend to lean to my left. So I'm gonna say lean to your left, even though this is my right side. Inhale. You guys better all be doing this. And then come back up to center. And then let's lean over to the other side. Lean, 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 lean. Now, sometimes what we want to do when we're in this pose is like lean so far over that our hips and our leg come up. Gotta glue them all the way down to the ground. And come back. I hope you guys are feeling good. So the third pose in this sequence is our seated twist. Now this is super fun because we get to practice left and right, up and down, all of these words that are called directional concepts. And they're super fun to practice, especially when you're sitting down. So again, I'm going to mirror you. So I'm going to say left and actually move my right arm. Teachers, this isn't something you need to do. It just helps if you are practiced with it. So we're going to bring our left arm up towards the sky and then place it on the ground right by your hips. Woo! Now, if you're in a chair or if you have a wheelchair, you can just put it on your armrests. Inhale, lift your right arm up and place it on your left knee. Plop. The plop makes it better. And then inhale, lift your chest, lift your head. This lengthens your spine. And then you can twist. You can look over to the other side. Now, teachers, if you are pregnant or you think you're pregnant, just keep your belly straight. You don't need to twist too much.
Right.
Now we're going to do it on the other side. Are you ready? Okay, I had to get my twist in there. Let's come to the other side. Bring your hands back up. And then bring your right arm down to your side, plop, and your left hand down to your right leg, plop. Lift your chest, lift your head, and then twist, 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 twist over to the right. Oh, that feels so good, doesn't it? Come back to center. Now we get to do cat-cow. So listen to my directions before you try this if you haven't done it before, because I want to make sure that I set you up for success. We're going to come into all fours. Now what that means is you're going to bring your torso, your chest forward, and your knees can stay where they are. And typically what you can do is just boom, move your feet out like they were in a crisscross, and then you just straighten them out. I'm going to move on my mat so that you can see me. Remember, my mat is at a 45-degree angle from the screen, just so you can see what I'm doing. Now, what I've got here is I have my palms on the ground. My fingers are splayed out like 5 fingers out, not like all together, but out. And then my elbows are straight, and my shoulder has to come right on top of my elbows, right on top of my wrist. That's called alignment, or sometimes I like to call it stacking. You might be able to hear my kiddo in the background here, and he is building some magnetic, what do you call these things, bud? Blocks?
No. They are called magnets.
Right, some magnets, and he's stacking them up to build a tower. It's kind of like that. You want to build a nice, strong arm tower. And then you want to move your knees so that your knees are underneath your hips. Now, if you don't know where your hips are, you got to ask an adult. And then your toes, I like to put my toes so that the bottoms of my toes are under, but you do you with your feet. You could put your, hey baby, I'm teaching, so I need you to be quiet, okay? So you could put the tops of your feet on the ground, or you could put your toes on the ground, whatever works for you. The big thing here is that we are moving our back. Now, if you're in a chair, you can still do this. Just move your back the same way. So what we're going to do to move our back is we're going to inhale, arch our back, look up with your chin. Oh, does that feel good? And then exhale, you're going to round your back. So your back is now coming up towards the sky. Your chin is coming in towards your chest. And let's do it again. This is a dynamic movement. That means we got to keep going. Inhale. We're going to do this 3 times. And exhale. Let's do Inhale. There you go. So this kind of looks like the back of a cow. So you can move here if you want to. And round your back. Bring your chin in towards your chest, kind of like you might see a scared cat. Oh, my dog's coming in too. That's a great day. Let's do this one more time. Inhale. And exhale. I will try to get the dog out of the way in a second. Did you guys do that? Well, now we get to stand up for star pose. Okay, everybody, it's time for you to stand up. Now, for my teachers who want to be able to adapt this for people in a chair, you will just have them in the chair, move their legs as wide as they can, given whatever's brought them into the chair, and then they'll just do the rest as much as they can. So now we're gonna face the side of our mat. I'm a little bit off my mat so you can see me. Again, I can't see the chat, so we'll come back to those questions. My feet are wide, they're wider than my hips, and then my toes are facing the side of my mat, okay? So my toes are both facing the same way I'm facing. Then I'm gonna bring my arms out to the side so they are parallel. There you go. Got it, you guys? Can you stand up nice and tall? Okay. Then bring your hands. You're gonna lean over and bring your hand down towards the side of your knee. Don't lean on your knee because that's a joint. And your joints, if they stretch too much, they do not go back. So inhale. Let's do the star pose. And then we're gonna come back to center. And then we're gonna go to the other side. Just like that. Remember not to lean on your knee. Oh, or let your head drop too much. You want to keep good alignment. So keep your legs strong. You guys feel that in your side body? Sometimes when we're here, we like to hang. We don't want to do that. Got to keep nice and strong. There we go, you guys. Come back to center, which means just stand back up. Your feet are going to stay in the same spot. And then all you need to do is lean forward. Now this is a little scary for me because I have something behind me, but I'm gonna bring my hands down to the ground. There you go. So for my kiddos, you could probably do this much more easy than the adults can, but can you feel this stretch in the back of your legs? Now here, if your knees feel like they are popping out a little bit too far behind you, just make a little tiny bend and squeeze the muscles in your legs. There you go. And you can allow your head to hang here. Now, if you can't reach your legs or your the ground all the way, I'm gonna grab a little baby chair.
Just know that it's all, they're loving the class and sometimes a few logistics, but you are going good. So many people must be doing this because they're being real quiet in the chat.
Perfect. Yeah, we've got a lot of logistics going on these days, and that is a-okay. So you can you can do a chair. If you have a reading chair, something like that, this works fine too. Okay, you guys, so we're gonna come to standing up again. And then, and my dog is about to bark, of course, because the internet people are here. We're gonna come down to all fours again. So come back down.
Coming up to our house.
I know, and Luna's gonna bark, isn't she? That'll be fun. We will deal with whatever happens. So come back down to all fours. Again, remember that means you're making the arms stack. Your hands are spread out, and your elbows are not bent. They're nice and straight, and your shoulders are right on top of your elbows. Now you have your choice here. You can do cat-cow again. Inhale and look up. Exhale, look down and around your neck. Or you can try a downward facing dog. Now, if you're gonna try a downward dog, you're gonna bring the bottoms of your toes to the ground. Okay, do it. And then you're gonna lift your hips up and back. Good. So for our teachers, yeah, come do it. So for our teachers, a lot of times we see in the media, it might look something like their legs are totally straight, their back is totally straight, complete V. And in real life, it typically has like bent knees. You just want to make sure that your shoulders aren't like collapsing or anything. But for our kiddos, this is a hard one, isn't it? Man, this one is so hard. So bring your knees back down. And then we're gonna come into child's pose. So come back to all fours no matter where you are. And we're gonna do a wide-legged child's pose. If that doesn't work for you, just keep your knees exactly where they are. So you'll bring your knees out wide and then see if you can bring your toes together. Now, if you need your blanket here, or if you need a pillow or a towel, you can put it here to help your knees. That's really for us old folks, guys. Sorry. But the kids probably don't need this. It's just us. But you can sit your hips onto your heels, and you can choose if you want to reach your arms out in front of you, and then you can rest your forehead on the ground. So why don't you go ahead and do that? Ooh. Close your eyes. I'm going to sit up so we can see about putting on some music, because you're going to stay here for 1 to 2 minutes. And just relax. Ooh. There you go.
Love you.
There. Now come to sitting back up. Decided no music. My kid was on the windowsill ledge. Okay, you guys. Let's come back and chat about that, and then do a quick Q&A. And if we have time to do some more yoga, we'll do another yoga session, and then see what you need. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the class. Oh, perfect. So for my kiddos here, type a Y in the chat. Oh, Parker says it felt great. Great. Type a Y in the chat if you like that. For the adults, I'd love to know what questions you have so we can help you too. And as you guys can see, you can do yoga in any situation. It doesn't have to be a yoga studio. It can be your bedroom. It can sometimes be your living room. Sometimes our whole family does yoga in the garage. Okay, so we're just getting that you liked it. Good. Oh, perfect. So Isabella says she was doing it with her mom. So if you have, I noticed some of you guys said like young babies, you would do the poses and just incorporate the babe as much as you can. The biggest thing you want to do with babies is nice breathing. Good. Okay. Perfect. Ian, oh, is that how your name? Is that how you say your name? Said that you'll be stronger than your brother. How fun. Okay. Would you guys like to do some more yoga? Put a Y in the chat if you want another yoga sequence like that. And put something else. Okay, there's so many yeses. More yoga. Okay, let's do this. This is great. I'm just gonna keep my visitors here. Good. Oh, you loved you fell over. If you're not falling over, are you really trying hard enough? I don't know. Okay, this one is a fun animal adventure yoga class. So we did one that was calming, and now we're gonna do one that has a little bit more adventure. We're gonna see if we can rope the 4-year-old in here. I'm sure you can hear him playing with toys and making some noises behind me. I don't have a microphone. Veronica, I tried to use my phone and I was getting too much feedback. Yeah. But I can try to talk louder. Veronica, does that work for you? Will you let me know? Because I do sometimes get a very calming voice when I teach yoga. It's just what happens. It feels very counterintuitive to me talking so loud, but this is better. Okay, I'll keep it at this volume and we can, you just let me know what you need. Okay. Oh, Veronica asked, you want to be able to talk? Yes, Veronica, go ahead. I don't know how to do that. Let me see.
I can turn it on for you. Realize with 150 people, it'll get banana.
That's fine. We'll do one question and then we'll do another yoga session.
You will have to unmute yourself, Veronica.
I did turn up the computer, Grace. I'll just talk louder. Veronica, what's your question before we get into another yoga session?
Okay. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Oh. Hi. I wanted to share something at the beginning, but I couldn't get to. I feel like yoga has made a great effect on me, a great impact. Due to a recent diagnosis that I had, I ended up in a wheelchair for almost a month, and my physical therapist at school helped me get through this with yoga, and within 1 or 2 weeks I had started doing it at home, started to try walking on my own, and it was the best thing that helped me out through that.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Veronica. Thank you for sharing.
Of course.
Okay, let's get back to some more yoga, and we'll do the animal adventure yoga. I'm gonna make you guys a little small. Becky, you're welcome. Okay, you guys, so this yoga sequence is one that you can learn how to do, and then my kiddos, what I would love to see you do is if you could come up with a fun yoga story sometime after this, sometime when we're home during lockdown, whatever you've got going on in your city or in your life, because making a yoga story is a great way for you to take these yoga poses and infuse literacy. But it's super fun. It's a super fun way to start, maybe not start reading, you could use it to start reading, but you could do it using a phone, an audio book. Sometimes what I like to do with my own children is have them do the poses, and we can look at the poses on the phone. I know getting to a printer right now can be a little tricky when you can't leave your house, but you can also, my kids love watching yoga videos of themselves. So maybe you can find a way to have somebody film you, and if there's a way that you can watch it, and you could do your own like experience yoga video for yourself, or you can read yourself your own yoga book. Sometimes that is so fun, and we really love to do things like that. When we can get to a printer, sometimes we'll take pictures of my kiddos and we'll print them out. We'll make a little yoga story, and I have them practice cutting and gluing the pages onto each other. They have vision, so it's a little bit different. But even if you have a Braille writer, you might be able to Braille the poses, or even Braille a list of the poses. This is just some really fun activities and ways that you can take what we're about to do and expand on it, because even though we are all home right now, you can still be learning and having lots of fun. Okay, friends, let's get started with this yoga sequence. Now I have to fight my dog and my kid, you guys. This is gonna be fun. So let me see if I can get my doggy to leave, because I will need some space here. Go ahead, baby. Thank you. Okay, I opened and closed the door. I'm sure you could hear that. We've got those squeaky doors.
I'm sure I can see my brother.
No, I actually can't hear your brother. That was my kiddo. So the movements that we're gonna do, we're gonna tune in. So for this one, we're actually just gonna take a few deep breaths as we tune in, and that lets us just have like, you know how you really like routine and you really just like to know when something is starting and when something is ending? That's what the tuning in does. It just kind of like says, hey, this is the activity that we're doing right now. Kind of like when you set the table, you do set the table, right? Just like that, when you set the table before dinner, or when the plate goes on the dinner table, that's kind of like signifying, hey, this is what we're doing right now. Or when you would walk into your classroom and you would sit down, that just kind of signified like, hey, this is what we're doing right now. Same thing, we're gonna tune in, and then we're gonna do a seated twist, which you've already done. We're gonna do a reaching mountain. You may not be able to see my hands all the way up, but I will describe it all for you. Then we're gonna go into moon pose, which we've already done, the seated moon. We're gonna go into then waterfall, and we're gonna do a triangle pose, or we can go into TikTok yoga clock, and then dinosaur pose and cat-cow, cobra, seated twist. We're gonna do a lion's breath, child pose, and then relaxation. Oh my goodness, that is a lot. And then at the very end, we will do what's called a valediction. It's a fancy word for saying goodbye. To be kind of loud, baby. Can I teach? Okay, let's get started. Remember, you're gonna come to a comfortable seated position. If you need to grab a pillow or a towel or something to put underneath your hips because your knees hurt a little bit, that is a-okay. What I like to do to start my yoga classes is to bring my hands to my heart. And if you or your parents don't really like this pose, that's fine. You can put your hands on your knees. It doesn't really matter. I like to put my hands together. My palms are together and my fingers are all together. It's a prayer pose. And I like to put my thumbs on my clavicle here. It's kind of like your chest bone because it makes a fun vibration when you say or when you breathe in and out. You can feel your chest expand and contract. So let's start there. We're just gonna breathe in and out. If you wanna do this with us. Inhale and out, in. And if you can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, that might help.
I can
Yeah.
blow in through my nose and out through my nose.
That's good too. And then do you want to do this with us and show our friends?
No.
Okay. And then we're going to do a seated twist. So we're going to bring our left arm up and place it on the ground right next to us. And then you're going to bring your right arm up and place it on your left knee. Plop. Baby, that's being rolled up. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your head so you can lift your spine, and then look over to the side. And then we're going to come back to center. Inhale, lift your right arm up, place it on the ground right by your right hip, and then lift your left arm up and place it on your right knee. Flop. Inhale, lift your spine, and exhale, twist, twist, twist. And come back to center. Okay. Now, this one, since we want to be more excited and more energy, we're not going to sit down so much. We're going to stand up. So come on and stand up. And just for all the teachers out there, just so you know, I'm just having you guys do each of these for about 3 breaths. You can choose to do them for 3 to 5 breaths. It really is just whatever comes natural for you and your students. Okay, so for reaching mountain, I'm actually going to keep my legs together. And then I'm just going to place my arms all the way up high. So you might be able to feel your arm against your cheek or your ear maybe. But then just relax your shoulders down. So all we were really trying to do is reach up high. Now, if you were making a story about this, you might be able to talk about a butterfly or a soldier looking at a mountain and reaching up high to try to touch the top of the mountain. All that this does is it's a pose that gives you energy because you're lifting your arms up. Then, since we're already here, we're going to clap and glue our hands together. And we're going to lean over to one side. I'm going to lean over to my right, which is your left. And again, you just plant your feet on the ground and lean. How's that feel? Now, sometimes we want to lean forward because that's easier, but don't let yourself. And come back up to the middle. And then go over to the other side. Woo! Feeling that stretch, huh? Great. And come back up. Now we're gonna do waterfall. So for waterfall, your arms are already up. And this is a dynamic movement. So that means that we're gonna move with it. So all you do is you bend your knees and you bring your hands down to like, kind of like you're trying to touch the bottom of a waterfall. And then come on up. See if you can pretend to touch the top of a waterfall. You sure you don't want to do this with us? And then down as you exhale. Inhale, come up, and we'll do it one more time. So are you pretending to touch the top of the waterfall? And then we can follow the water down, 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 down to the pool of water below by our feet. Good job. Come stand on up. Then we're going to do triangle pose. We've already done something like this, so I know you have it in your body. All you're going to do is bring your legs out wide and your feet right now.
You can do a square.
Or you can do a square. My son says, or you can do a square. I don't know what that means, but I'm going to keep teaching them my yoga. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, thanks. So we're going to keep our feet facing forward, and then one foot is going to face, it's called perpendicular. Your O&M teacher can help you learn what perpendicular means, but I bet some of you guys know. So that just means that one foot is going to be facing the way that your head and your torso is facing, and then the other foot is going to be at what's also called like a 90-degree angle. It's kind of like if you take the corner two sides of a square, it's like that. So it's just facing the other way. For example, one foot, your back foot, is going to be facing the long side of your mat. The front foot, the one that gets moved, is going to be facing the short side of your mat. Hope that was helpful. Then you're going to bring your arms out to the side and up. Okay, so now your arms are parallel with the ground, and then you're just going to lean over again. Oh, it's just like Star, but with one foot facing another way. Now, you want to make sure you, again, don't put any pressure on that knee, because we want to keep it nice and healthy. And then lift. There you go. And come on up. Let's do the other side. I like to have both my feet face forward. And then the other foot, that's my right, maybe your left, is going to be facing the short side of my mat now. Inhale, lift your arms out to the side. Good, now they're parallel with the ground. And then lean over and down. Make sure not to put any weight on that knee. There you go. Ooh, do you feel this? It's like feeling it on the side is stretching, but then the underside is like strengthening. It's kind of cool, right? For you adults, this is actually a core pose. For kids, doesn't really matter. Now we get to do dinosaur. So moms and dads and grandmas and teachers and everybody else, adults, you can look up a song for this on your handout. You'll want to look up Shakta Karkalsa. This one song, you can't get it for free, but it's 99 cents where she sells her CD. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our feet kind of together, and you can start, actually let's start at the back of our mat. And the back of your mat is the short side, and we're going to do dinosaur and walk up to the front. Let me show you which ways you can do dinosaur. I really like to just put my hands on my knees. It's real simple. I get to lean over just a little bit. If you want something more challenging, you can bring your hands all the way down to your ankles. This is not the toy we're playing with right now. You can play with that all the way outside if you want to. And if you do it by your ankles, oh, that's a big stretch on the back of your legs. But don't stretch so much that it hurts. You just need a little stretch. So we're going to keep our hands on our knees for this one. And then I'm going to sing dinosaur. Ready? Lift up my leg. Dinosaur walk. Dinosaur walk. Dinosaur, dinosaur, dinosaur walk. And I'm looking up, up, up to the front of my mat. Then in the song it goes ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. Do 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 do. Woo! That is your dinosaur walk. You can leave the room and play with this if you'd like. Next, we're gonna come into cat, cow. Yeah, my son had a toy. I'm sorry, you guys. He found a toy in my other son's room. We're gonna come down and do cat, cow here. And for cat, cow, you're gonna, again, come into all fours. And because we are on an animal adventure, we are gonna make the noises again. So your hands are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. For cat, you're gonna arch your back. Sorry, for cow, you're gonna arch your back and look up and say moo. And then you'll round your back for cat and bring your chin in toward your chest and say meow. Yeah, let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, do cow, say moo. Exhale, round your back, chin in towards your chest. I didn't hear you meowing. Let's do louder. Inhale, and then exhale, round your back. Say meow. I'm switching sweater. I can't. Okay, no. Sorry, you guys. My other kiddo came. Told you this was gonna happen. Now let's come into cobra pose. For cobra pose, we're actually gonna lay on the ground. If you can't lay on the ground, that is totally fine. You can sit up however you want to. And
Can you describe round your back?
I will. Let me finish the sentence. Where was I? For round your back, it means you bring your back up towards the sky. It makes a rounded shape. Does that help, Jenny? No, Jenny, not like a downward facing dog. So what you guys can do to practice this is to just come to a comfortable seated position and place your hands on your knees. And then what I want you to do is bring your chin in towards your chest and push your back out. So you'll feel your shoulders come off of your back like a little bit. And it actually makes like a C between your shoulders and your hips. I'm gonna lean up to see that. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kat. Okay, so Jenny, does that make sense? So for you guys, I'll demonstrate it here and I'll try to wrap my thing around so it's a little bit tighter. So hands on your knees. So when you round your back, it just means your back is coming up towards the sky, like the mid part of your back. For the adults, it's like right around your bra line, that area is gonna round it. And then when you arch your back, it doesn't really matter which words you say. Some people call this arching, but when you arch your back, it's kind of like when you bring your shoulders onto your back and your chest comes out and your chin comes up a little bit. It feels much different. In this one, it feels really expansive and stretching in the front of your shoulders. When you round your back, it feels really stretching in the back of your shoulders and down to your back. I hope that helped. Okay, but for Cobra, coming back into this sequence, oh my gosh, y'all, we have 2 minutes. We're gonna have to skip this. I am so sorry. Do we only have 2 minutes left?
You do? You want to do your last pose?
Sure. Well, let's do some Cobra and then we'll just skip the rest. So for Cobra, we'll come down to the ground and then just gently place your hands underneath your shoulders and gently lift your shoulders up as you inhale, and you can make a sound. Okay, well, that time was just an hour, man. Okay, come on to sitting up. And you guys can practice the rest of those moves after you get done today. I just want to say thank you so much for everything, you guys. I hope I was able to answer your questions. I know this is a short amount of time, but I want to honor everybody's time. If you have any questions and this didn't answer it, please feel free to send us an email. at, I'll type it in the chat in a second, but it's at theteam@alliedindependenceonline.com so we can get back to you. Zoom audio.
It's the team at Allied Independence, Kassy?
Online.com, yeah.
Kassy, thank you so much. That was fabulous. My daughter joined you as well. This is Amaya. We just really appreciate your time and your clear instructions and going through that very de-stressing lesson with us. For all of you at home, if you are able to join us for another hour of programming, we'll be on again for part 2 tomorrow about sarcasm. So Robin Keating-Clark will be joining us again, and we hope to see you again tomorrow.
Thank you guys so much for putting this on. Can we give a big round of applause to everybody putting this on? Oh,
well, thank you, everybody. And
so thankful.
Thank you, Kassy, for being so flexible when you've got a lot going on at home. So yes, and Amaya is there and she was doing yoga, so that's exciting. Hi, Amaya.
Great. Okay, everybody, I'll see you later.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.